What's going on, guys? Welcome to Alice Effects, and thank you for tuning in for my weekly breakdown on GJ. All right, so obviously last week, amazing week, right? We caught these out to the downside. Now let's see how we're looking for these buys, right? So at the moment, if we're looking at structure, you have a nice double top formation here forming right here, right? So let's go ahead and name that our daily resistance, just because that's where that price we respected it and fell from that. Did I spell that wrong? I think I did. Let me go back. Daily resistance. All right, fuck it. So we have our daily resistance, obviously, right? Now we're looking for those areas of support. Here's the last time we pushed up aggressively to the top side. So let's go ahead and name that as a daily support level, right? Daily support level. Well, not support level. I just put it at daily support. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and just highlight this so you guys can see it a little bit better. So obviously we have that push to the top side, push back down, push top, came back down. Now we're coming back up, right? So let's change the color back to yellow. All right, so at the moment, we created a low here. So let's say this is my first low, right? Let's go ahead that. Obviously my new high. This would be my higher low. New higher high, because we're just obviously higher than the previous one. And then we created a new lower low, right? So after creating a new lower low, you expect the lower high to be formed, or and high. My bad. Right. After a lower low, you expect the new lower high to be formed, right? So in this case, we are looking for these areas of resistance, right? So here, your previous higher low was an area of support, right? Because we pushed up, right? But now since we're below it, I think we're just right above it, right? This is right. Since this is daily, some type of daily support. Let's go ahead and name that. Since we are above it at the moment, we could probably see that possible lower high not to be formed, right? And see it react to this price level, which is your next daily resistance, right? So what I'm waiting for is either we break this daily resistance, right? So let's say that we do break this daily resistance, create a new higher high, and then a higher low to get into the long positions, just because your higher time frames are really bullish, right? So if you look at your weekly time frame, so what do we see on your weekly time frame? This high that. Okay, so your weekly time frame last week was very bullish, right? Well, yeah, it was very bullish. So we pushed down, right? But we ended up being bullish, right, at the end of the week. Now with that being said, we're looking for those areas that we can have as targets, right? So on your monthly time frame, we see that we have 2 days and 22 hours before this monthly candle closes, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and find those targets of resistance. So here's your next daily monthly resistance, right? So let's go ahead and name that. Okay, monthly resistance. And then obviously this is your daily support, but also is a monthly resistance, but now support since we're above it. But the next monthly support level is right here, just because this is where the candles close, right? So monthly support. All right, so let's drop it back to your smaller time frames. So your smaller time frames, it will hit that daily support level, which is also a monthly support level, right? But I just named it on my daily, right? With that being said, like I said, the higher time frames are still super bullish, right? I'm talking about your monthly, weekly, and still your daily. We haven't broke your previous low right here, which if you were to do it from the very bottom, this would be a higher low. This would also be a higher low, right? But if we started from here, this is just a lower low, broke your previous higher low, right? Or whatever. But with that being said, if we do not, end up closing below your daily support, there's no sells, right? Now, obviously, the overall higher time frames are bullish, so we still expect it to push up, right? So what I'm waiting for is for a new higher high to be formed, come back, retest as a higher low, right? respect that higher low, and then continuation to your your monthly resistance targets, right? Um, yeah, that's basically it right now. So I'm looking for those buys from either this break to the top side, right? Or we respect this daily support, right? And we end up closing below it. And then if you look to your left, you have clean traffic down to the downside, right? Let's see this. Give me a second. Oh, my short position right here, right? So below this, I'm looking to short it just because, we will close below this area of support, making it resistance, right? Continuation back to the downside, right? Now you got to keep in mind that the higher time frames are also, kind of overextended. Last week was the only week, well, not, the week before that was the only week that we finished bearish, right? Grabbing that liquidity. Now, if you see that, we obviously need that pullback. We move in waves. We can't just move in one way. So we have to move in waves, right? So you're moving from higher highs to higher lows, and so forth and so forth, so on, so on. My bad. But yeah, that's basically it. So this is what I'm looking for. But you gotta be super patient and let it play out first. But yeah, that should be it. All right, let's go ahead and go on to EU. All right, guys. So now on EU, let's go ahead and break it down from your monthly time frame all the way down. So on your monthly time frame, we can obviously see that we've been trending down, creating new lower highs and lower lows, right? But let's look at where price is currently at. So price created a new higher high, higher low, and then a new higher high, right? So this is your new higher high. Now we're looking for that, that area of support to continue back up or back down, right? So let's see. So this area would be an area of monthly resistance because that's where we fell from. Now your previous daily monthly support is right here because we tapped into that price level and then we shot back up. So this would be monthly support. And this right here is also an area of interest. So let me go ahead and name that monthly resistance. Okay. So now with that being said, let's drop it to your weekly time frame. Now in your weekly time frame, obviously we see this nice little double bottom forming, continuing up, and we push back down to retest it, but we failed to create new higher highs after creating a higher low here. We just kept going down. So now with that being said, we did break below this area of resistance, right? Your monthly time frame. And you see to your left, you have clean traffic all the way down to these monthly supports. So just keep that in mind. Now let's see on your daily time frame. So on your daily time frame, let's go ahead and actually mark it up. So let's say we push down. Okay, so let's go ahead and name them. This would be my first high. This is where I started. This is my first low. This is a lower high because we're lower than the previous high. Let's zoom in a little quick. This is a higher low. Higher low. This would be a candles closed right below the previous candle, so it's a lower high. Lower high, and then created a new lower low. Perfect. Lower low. Okay. So now that we have that, we understand that we created a new lower low. We can probably start seeing, after a lower low, you expect the lower high to be formed, right? At an area of resistance. So with that being said, let's go ahead and mark that daily support and resistance. So here is some type of resistance, previously support on your daily time frame. Daily support. Oh, my bad. This is daily resistance since we are below it. Now we did close bullish last daily candle, so this would be daily support. All right. So what that being said is obviously we're looking for those sells, just because the higher time frames are seem to be bearish, right? But let's see if we do if we do respect this area daily support level, right, we should push back up to your daily resistance areas, which would be right here, and taking those cells back down to these monthly support levels. Just because your higher time frames are telling me that it's pushing back down, right? So obviously your higher time frame, we created a higher high, but failed to create a higher low to continue back up, right? Now looking at candles, you have clean traffic to your left. This candle had no problem pushing up, nor did this bearish candle had no problem pushing down, right? So now this would be an area of interest because, which is your monthly support. I already had that marked up. So this is why I'm taking it short to that level, right? Now, obviously, we have to respect that area of resistance that is, right here. Now, if you were to pull a Fibonacci also from the very high of this candle right here, all the way to the low, this would be a 50% retracement, which we could also come back to your 61.8, respecting this previous area of resistance, well, previous area of support, but now since we're below it, it would be new resistance. All right, so this is daily resistance also because they used this, right? It used this daily resistance back in March 16 as support since we're above it, and then we pushed up, creating a new lower high, right? So I'm looking to take sales out of like one of these, daily levels, right? Obviously, we want to touch to it, and then we want a daily closure and close nice and healthy candle, right? So let's go ahead and type that out. So looking for sales at a daily, give me a second. With candle confirmation. All right, candles confirmation, meaning that we want, those candles to start flipping bearish, right, to take those sells. But, that's what I'm looking for this, this week. Shorts from this area right here to create that new lower high, or we end up eventually pulling back up to these levels right here of your daily resistance. You know what I mean? And coming back down. Now, the only way I would buy, I'll look for my bad. I'll look for the buys are breaking above your monthly resistance, continuing back up to these levels right here, which would be right here, because you have clean traffic looking to your left up to these 29.25, right? But other than that, I'm looking for sales this week. So let's see what what we got. But other than that, that would be it. And I appreciate you guys supporting me and supporting the journey basically.